Viene. Vamos al mambo que llevo días sin streamear. Voy a streamear por el propósito de presentar lo que fue lo último de la historia. Porque en la semana prácticamente no puedo, ya que estaré estudiando. Así que este puede ser uno de mis streams hasta nuevo aviso. Vamos allá. Recuerden darle like, recuerden darle share. Vamos allá.
I'm telling you, you can't go wrong taking advice from me on what to wear. Back in the day, my fashion style was considered cutting edge by everyone in the academia.
Really? Well then, sure, Madame Farzan. Maybe you could pick out a few fashionable outfits for us.
Farzan! Nilu! Even Dia and Candace are here! What are you all up to?
Candace and I bumped into these two while we were strolling through the streets. Madame Farzan here's pretty friendly. When she heard that we were buying clothes, she decided to give us some help.
I don't really see anything I'm familiar with. Never mind. We can purchase some textiles and make the clothes ourselves. Let's go with the plain fabric as our base, and embroider red and pink flowers on. Oh, and some green leaves.
Oh, wait a sec. You sure that's the latest style? That sounds a lot like what the older folks back home would wear.
Don't worry. This style is a timeless classic.
No thanks. This is actually sounding pretty weird.
Wait. Madame Farzan's right. That style is a classic, and used to be mainstream fashion. But these days, there's some other options too. If you don't mind, how about I pick some clothes out for everyone? It's not often that we get to meet up, especially since Candace rarely makes it to Sumeru City. Also, I know a few places where I can get a great bargain.
Sure. I'm happy to leave it to you.
I'll come with you to have a look. One always has to keep on top of what the youth of today are into.
Madame Farazan? Come quick! She's over here!
Who are you?
We're new in the academia. We saw all the amazing things you did during the competition. Do you have any classes we could sign up for?
Of course I do. And you're both very welcome to join.
That's great! We can't wait. What's your area of research? Precision mechanics?
I'm from Haravatat.
Huh? But you seem like an expert in machines. Wait, sorry. I remember now. You were representing the Haravatat Darshan in the championship. Oh, their classes are so boring, though. I'm sorry, ma'am. Let me know if you run any other classes in the future. I'll be there.
I knew it. What about you? Aren't you going to leave with your friend?
I think you're amazing, Madame Farzan, and I'd like to learn from you for a while, if possible. I can take the class you're teaching as an option, even though cross-Darshan lessons might be a little tough to arrange. But I look forward to learning from you.
I see. You're a good egg, child. Don't worry. Study under me, and I promise you, you will get the best teaching available.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, I won't disturb you any further. See you in class.
I don't quite understand what happened there, but congratulations, I think.
Traveler, Paimon, would you two like to come and pick out some clothes?
Sorry, we can't. We've got a meet with Kaveh later, and we have to check in with all the other contestants before then. Oh, by the way, have any of you seen Hat Guy or Layla?
I don't know where Hat Guy went. We just saw Layla not too long ago, though. But she was hanging out with some other Ratahoa students, so we didn't get a chance to speak with her. Are you gonna go and see what she's up to?
Ratahoa students? They must be the ones who voted for her to enter the competition, right? Oh, she didn't end up winning, so Paimon wonders how they feel about that. Let's go take a peek.
Paimon como todas bochichosas. Vamos para allá. Eso están arriba. Voy a seleccionar aquí a ver si hablan algo más y subo.
If you don't come to Samara City often, classic floral designs aren't a bad choice. Those don't really go out of style. And of course, since you're putting this on your body, you need to consider the type of fabric the clothes are made from. Some materials might look stunning, but they can be terribly uncomfortable to wear.
Agreed. After all, is fashion not the constant phasing in and out of classics? In that sense, you could always consider the style I suggested too.
Wait, sorry, ma'am, but I think it could be quite a while before the style you recommended comes back in fashion.
I actually think the style recommended by Madame Faruzan is quite beautiful.
Isn't it just? You have a discerning eye, my dear.
Discutiendo modas, que se maten ellas ahí. Vamos a subir. Y ya básicamente Paimon y el Traveler dijeron que tienen varias cosas que hacer. Y una de ellas es ir a comer con Kave. Supongo que eso es de la última. Vamos a ver. Ok, mírala ahí.
I'm sorry, everyone. I could have done better in the third round.
Oh, stop it. If you're going to beat yourself up after doing as well as you did, how bad does that make us look, huh? Heck, it's not like any of us had the guts to enter the championship.
I didn't see the whole thing, but you were the only contestant who scored points in both the first 2 rounds, right? And I heard that you actually found the diadem first in round 3. You came so close to winning the competition.
I just got lucky, I think.
That can't be true. You had some really stiff competition out there. The renowned Tainari from Amorta, even Sino the General Mahamatra was there. You're amazing, all of you. Getting points off them is a huge achievement. The way I see it, people aren't exaggerating one bit with the nicknames they give you. You are a genuine genius.
Aw, thanks a lot. But I really don't think I qualify as a genius. In the second round, for instance, I dozed off and somehow found myself beside the device when I came to.
Ah, come on, don't be so hard on yourself. We've decided we're taking you out to celebrate, and that's final. Let's go. Cheer up, Layla. The rest of today's all about you.
Looks like things are going well for Layla. This is great. We haven't seen Hat Guy since the end of the competition. Oh well, it's almost mealtime. We'd better go meet up with Kave and Sino now.
Are you sure you have enough to cover this? Don't blow it all at once.
Don't worry. I budgeted very carefully, and this is well within my means. Anyway, I've lost count of how many times you've treated me. It's high time I return the favor. Oh, Traveler, Paimon, over here!
Ooh, look at all this! Good food, here we come!
I heard that you went to see the other contestants. How's everyone doing?
Faruzan found herself a student, and Layla's classmates are bowled over by how well she did. We couldn't find Hat Guy, though. Who knows where he's gone?
Al-Haytham's gone missing in action, too. Huh. The one time I'm actually in a good enough mood to treat him to a nice meal, he disappears without a trace. That guy. Where the heck could he have gone? I still have questions about that note he left. Well, whatever. He can do what he wants. Now, let's eat.
You shocked me a little when you hurled the diadem to the ground. On further reflection, of course, it made sense, but at the time I was expecting at least some amount of deliberation.
Sachine's voice started talking to me inside my head from the moment I picked it up. I could feel his emotions, too. It was a mix of despair and horror swirling around inside my mind. He bombarded me with his ideas relentlessly, like he was trying to brainwash me. It gave me a splitting headache that only got worse as he went on. Like I was saying at the time, his views are not necessarily completely without value. But if all his research does is lead to misfortune, then we're probably better off without it.
If his forbidden research were to spread in a harmful form and cause people to suffer, the Matra would step in and ban it.
I think you did the right thing. I suppose another way to approach it would have been to claim that you agreed to inherit his research, but give up the research as soon as you've inherited the wealth. But that wouldn't have been your style. I won't comment on his theories or experiments, but I don't believe that he was careless in his choice of candidate. He chose you. That means he knew what he was doing.
Perhaps. I just think that if you accept someone else's things, you should honor their wishes.
That's a good thing. It means that you have integrity.
Thank you, oh my god, thank you. See, you get me, Kale. It's a good thing Alhaitham isn't here right now. He'd be quick to explain why you're wrong.
Seems like you always include him in the conversation, even when he isn't here.
Yep. No dinner with Kaveh is complete without a few words about Alhaitham.
I sense that Alhaitham has in fact been here with us all along.
He's here? Where? Why didn't you tell me?
He lives rent-free in each of our hearts.
No podía faltar un segundo sin que se tirara un chiste, mongo.
That was horrifying. It literally sent chills down my spine.
Good thing you didn't say that before we started eating. That would have killed the mood in a heartbeat.
All right, enough about Alhaitham. Tighnari, did you achieve what you wanted out of the championship?
I did, in the first round, in fact. Word of mouth proved very effective. I spoke to a handful of people, they told their friends, and so on. Now, a record number of people have signed up to attend the next lecture. Oh, are you free next month? You should come along, maybe even say a few words.
About what? I don't know the first thing about anything Amorta-related.
Just play to your strengths. For instance, you could talk about the distinguishing features of rainforest architecture, or ask everyone not to chop down too many trees the next time they're building a house.
Oh, well, that's no problem. Sure, I'll make time. Has everyone had enough to eat? I can order more if anyone's still hungry.
I'm full. Thanks. I'm super full, too. If only we could eat like this every day.
Yeah, we should do this more often. Work will always be there, but seeing friends is important too. This is a good restaurant. Let's definitely come here again.
Sounds good. We should pick a few other places as backup options, though.
There are other good places around here, too? Oh, and don't forget to invite us if you go. There's nothing we love more than good food.
Kaveh, do you have plans after this?
I was thinking of maybe going to the academia for some alone time. Nothing set in stone, though. Why do you ask?
I'm not drunk. Not yet. Since everyone is free, why don't we play a few matches of Genius Invocation TCG?
Eager to show off your new limited edition card, are you?
Not to show off. This is my way of thanking you for your help. Only my best friend will have the honor of seeing this card's debut play.
All right, sure. I didn't bring my deck with me, though, so I'll need to borrow one.
Actually, Master, I made a new one a few days back.
Don't tell me you've been spending all your study hours playing cards.
Come on, no need to be so stern. They do say that your innate interests are your best teacher, don't they?
No podías dejar un momentito sin hablar de las cartas. Ay, tengo que jugar eso también. Vamos a gastar chavos, que no creo que he gastado todo el dinero de la semana. Raya, tengo 55 de eso. ¿Qué es esto? Para aumentar el ataque por 81 por segundo. Aumentar la defensa a 107. Vamos a comprarle todo. Y este es para revivir. Oh, eso está bueno. Flower, importante, que a rato se me acaba. Pescado. Cangrejo solamente tengo 24. Hay que comprar. Cuando eso pasa, hay que comprar. Suficientes beans. Fuimos. Esta no es la puerta. Esta es chi.
Well, it looks like this Inter-Darshan Championship's a wrap. All that stuff with Sachin and the diadem got sorted too. Have you still got anything else on your mind? Oh, right. Yeah, Sachin said that he placed his research materials at somewhere beginning with... but Kaveh smashed the diadem of knowledge before he could finish. It might be dangerous if someone finds his old research stash, right? Where do you think it could be? Holy smokes, you're right! He said he spent all that time researching in the desert, didn't he? So it's very possible that that's where he'd leave all his suits. Alright then, let's head off to Aru Village and try our luck!
Interesante. ¿Para qué queremos buscar el research? No sé. Pero vamos allá. Vamos para allá. Chequear. Y ahora cambia la canción de nuevo. No está muy lejos. Vamos a ver qué sucede ahora sí. Obligado nos encontramos con Al-Haytham. La pegué, míralo ahí, sentadito leyendo. Oh, chacho. ¿Sabes si aquí están los dos? Al-Haytham y Hawkeye, o sea, Scaramouche, porque eso no lo hemos visto en un buen rato.
Didn't expect to run into you here.
Oh, Haytham, what are you doing here? And what are you reading? Are those...
Sachin's notes? Yes. I came across his profile while I was organizing some documents and became interested in his research. If it wasn't for that, I never would have agreed to being a commentator. I had a hunch after seeing the fragment of his mind, and sure enough, I came here and found his research.
Wait, so you've read it already? Are you alright? How do you feel?
I think you may have misunderstood something. The reason Sachin chose that architect to inherit his research was that only he could really empathize with both the calamity and the humanity that these notes seek to convey. Only one who resonates with these sentiments would suffer and begin to think of history as bleak, the present as perplexing, and the future as pessimistic. Empathy is a double-edged sword. Clearly, I am not the same sort of person as Sachin was. Empaths have many friends, and their wide social circle comes with certain societal advantages. But this also makes it hard for them to achieve their goals.
Why's that?
All important things in life involve other people. As such, it's extremely difficult to live a life that causes no harm whatsoever to others. If you really want to achieve your goals, you have to be prepared to make enemies along the way. Not everyone can deal with that reality. And that reality is like the material here. Objective, heavy, negative. But, at the end of the day, for all these experiment results and conclusions, it's just one person's perspective. Sachin's.
So, what are your thoughts now that you've read it?
As a scholar, Sachin was without a doubt a genius. He laid the blame for the darkness in the world squarely on humanity, experimented extensively with reliable results, and drew logical conclusions. In that sense, one might say his views were correct.
So, people are bad? And things can only ever get worse? All of that's true?
That is not a question for me to answer. Someone else will arrive shortly. You can ask them instead. All I will say is that the world is not built on correctness alone. Sometimes, being correct means nothing at all. Lofty ideals may provide no defense at all against nihilism, but perhaps little decisions can. By their own choice, the idealist seeks to bring happiness to all while denying themselves the same. Thus, they shall never reach even the borders of truth until they wipe away the ignorance that blinds them. I've never been able to agree with certain philosophies. Even Sachin himself struggled to comprehend the notion of sacrificing oneself for the greater good. But sadly, all viewpoints will find their supporters, and the way we see the world largely decides our fates. Alright then, I got what I came for. These research materials are yours to look after. I'll be off.
Wait, so you came here just to read this stuff? You missed out on a big get-together, you know.
Get-together? Ah, yes, that makes sense. This is a good opportunity for that sort of thing.
Guess what? Kaveh treated everyone this time.
Then I'm sure he packed up the leftovers for me. See ya.
And there he goes. Well, it seems like he really wasn't affected by this research. He said that someone else would answer our questions. Who do you think that'll be? Traveler, Paimon, you're already here.
Por fin apareció Nahida, que no sé qué esperaban para que saliera ella. Muy bien.
Nahida! Oh, and that guy. Wait, so you asked him to take part in the championship? Yes, it was me. Are you surprised? Did you know that there was something wrong with the diadem from the start? And if so, why didn't you switch it out for another one? Because Sachin's research is not mistaken. He spent his entire life researching this topic, and these materials are a result of that. These are the crystallization of his wisdom. Yes, I was worried that the material might cause some disruption, but I didn't want to wipe away all his hard work searching for the truth. So instead, I had Hat Guy here help me keep an eye on things.
Seriously? I think you can stop calling me that now.
Why? Don't you like it? Well, anyway, if Sachin's chosen successor hadn't been able to handle his research, or if it had brought pain to more people, he would have intervened at a suitable moment.
And after all that, the person Sachin chose turned his nose up at his life's work. Pretty hilarious.
I was also hoping that this could be an opportunity for you to learn how to interact with people normally. But it looks like that didn't work out.
That wasn't necessary. I'm still paying you back for your help. And the last thing I need is more reasons to be indebted to you.
Nahida, what did you mean by Sachin's research is not mistaken? Does that mean that you approve of his research? Put it this way instead. Truth to me is like a shroom boar. Some people only see the mushroom on the shroom boar's back, and they conclude that the shroom boar is a mushroom. Others see only the shroom boar's body, and they declare that the shroom boar is a boar. Still others look deeper inside, and determine that the shroom boar is meat. These conclusions are all correct in their own way, but none of them objectively describe the shroom boar. Paimon kinda gets it, but also not really. The world is the same way. No one, not even I included, can understand it in its entirety. All of us are somewhere on the path toward truth. Within the confines of our limited knowledge, some may blindly believe in the beauty of this world, and others may focus only on its evils. In truth, the most important thing isn't what state the world is in now, but what people hope it will become. But of course, I don't mean that as a criticism or a call to action. Ultimately, my duty as the God of Wisdom is to guide every form of wisdom to a place where it can find its purpose.
That was a long speech. So what are you actually going to do with these research materials?
Because Kaveh, as the successor of this research, does not wish to see these ideas disseminated, I will seal it up. But even though Sachin's research could be considered negative wisdom, it is still a building block of the truth. If someone wishes to follow in his footsteps in the future, I will not stop them. I also look forward to the day that a member of the Vahumana Darshan can not only comprehend his theories, but also find a way out from the despair as well.
Vahumana doesn't have that kind of talent. Wait, you're not intending to keep me in Vahumana long term, are you? I don't remember signing up to become a scholar. Don't you think I'm useful enough to you as a prisoner?
Oh boy, here we go again. You think so? Well, to that, I would say that in Sumeru, even prisoners have a right to an education. I hope that your studies in Vahumana will help you deal with your own fate, and learn how best to settle old debts from your past. I will review your final thesis myself. I'm expecting great things from you, Mr. Hat Guy.
Hasta asignación le dio a Scaramouche. Estuvo bueno eso. Estuvo bueno que Najida saliera por lo menos un chi, caramba. ¿Qué pasó con Kave? Había algo de Kave. Kave mentioned that he would be going to academia for some alone time. Vamos para allá. A ver qué chuche Dios. Vamos para allá. Qué bueno que pudieron incluir a Najida, porque incluyeron un montón de personajes de aquí de Sumeru Show. Eso era más que suficiente. Vamos allá.
20 years ago, the Academia had just received Sachin's estate. To celebrate the huge investment, the Academia extravaganza that year was grander than usual. I was very young then, and I remember seeing posters for the Interdarshan Championship all over the city. I couldn't help but mention it to my father. I even told him that I really liked the look of the diadem. It was so unique. So he said, "Why don't I win it? So I can let you play with it for a few days." That made me very happy, and I nodded enthusiastically. But to my surprise, he didn't win. And when he got back home, he seemed extremely depressed. Later, he left home, saying that he wanted to do some investigating in the desert. The quicksand got him not long after that. For many years, I couldn't face up to it at all. If I just kept my mouth shut, maybe none of it would have ever happened.
Wait, so the person we came across in our investigation, who went into the desert 20 years ago, it was...
Is that why Sachin thought I looked familiar? I can't believe it. My father was always too kind for his own good. Sachin's research would have saddened him greatly. He must have gone into the desert when he heard about it to find those who were still suffering. It all makes sense now. I've tried telling myself so many times over the years that maybe his sudden depression wasn't because he didn't win the competition. Maybe something else was going on that I wasn't aware of. But in the end, it all started with me mentioning the competition to him.
Oh, Kave.
Don't worry. I destroyed the diadem. There will never be another tragedy like this again. Never again.
Eso fue todo, una conversación con Kave rapidita. Está bien. Es un poquito de historia, de backstory de Kave, de cómo perdió a su papá. Parece que se estaba echando la culpa a él mismo y nada que ver. Nada que ver. ¿Qué es esto? After bringing Mihir and Rashnu back to the Barukacha Oasis, Sharish finally earned the approval of the Varena again, gaining the Twin Horn Chaplet and becoming the Bloom Guard. But with regards to the responsibilities of such positions, Surban seems to have a few things to say. Esto es viejito. No, eso es nuevo, eso es lo nuevo, eso es el modo nuevo, ¿cierto? Pero para eso le quedan 8 días, así que otro día lo puedo jugar. Vamos a hacer la historia de Baishu. Regresamos a Liyue. Entonces, vamos para aquí. Porque de aquí arriba de esta montaña me tiro volando lo más tranquilo. Aquí tenemos una vista aérea de Liyue. ¿Dónde está el...? Mira, allá arriba. Jade Chamber. La verdad que este sitio está cool. Mira, se perdieron las luces, ya es de noche. Ya me pase, ¿verdad? No sé exactamente por qué lado uno llega. Va a ser por aquí, vamos a ver por acá. Se me está acabando el estamina, así que déjame no... Aquí mismito. Suas. Hola, hola, saludos.
What's your name, buddy? Are you here to buy some medicine? Where are your mom and dad?
Are you lost?
No, I'm not. My name's Ayu, and I'm here because...
Hey there, Chi-Chi. Hi, Gui. What's going on?
Hi, Traveler and Paimon.
You've actually come at the perfect time. This little boy seems to have gotten himself lost. I think he must be new to the city. Probably wandered away from his parents and...
No, listen to me. I'm not the one who's lost. It's my dad.
Your dad? How does a fully grown man manage to get lost in Liyue Harbor?
Well, my dad's always been kind of forgetful. In the past, he was just a little slow to react sometimes. But I'm worried that it's getting more serious.
So, what about your mom?
She went out a few days ago to gather some herbs for my dad, but she still hasn't come back. Meanwhile, my dad's been getting worse and worse. I remembered that the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy always runs a clinic in Chingsa Village during the Lantern Ride, so I thought, why don't I take Dad to Liyue Harbor to see him there? When we got to the city gate, I took a moment to ask the Millith guards for directions to the pharmacy. And then, when I turned back around, my dad was gone. I asked the Millith guys to go find him, but he said they won't be able to send that many people. So then I figured, maybe I can ask some other people in the city to help.
You came to the right place. We're pros at finding people. Isn't that right, Traveler?
Changshan can help. She has a good sense of smell, like a dog.
Hey, who's talking about me behind my back?
Changshan, Chi-Chi meant that as a compliment. There's no need to be upset. Hello, child. You mentioned that you were looking for the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. How might we be of service?
You have a talking snake? Oh, are you Uncle Baishu?
Uncle Baishu.
Un detallazo ahí que hacen un zoom a la cara de Baishu. Él tiene los ojos como de diamante, como de serpiente prácticamente. No sé si tienen que ver con la serpiente que tiene encima, o a lo mejor Baishu en realidad es un canriano.
Changshan, now's not the time. My dear boy, could you tell me more about your father's condition, as much as you can recall?
Yes, Dr. Baishu.
I see. And your family lives near Chingsa Village, you say? I visit patients there frequently, but I don't recall ever seeing you or your parents.
Uh-huh. My mom doesn't like meeting other people, especially during Lantern Ride. She always tells me to just stay at home and keep my dad company.
Is that so? Ayu? By any chance, is your mother's name Jiangli?
Whoa, yeah, it is. Do you know my mom, Dr. Baishu?
I certainly do. Gui, Chi-Chi, are there any pressing matters in the pharmacy at the moment? Ayu's parents are old acquaintances of mine, so I would very much like to assist with the search. Would the two of you have time to join me?
Don't forget us two. We already told Ayu that we'd help.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful. We are most grateful for your support.
Chi-Chi and I need to clear up the shop front first, but once that's taken care of, we'll be right out to help you with the search.
Family is very important.
Thank you. Then I'll leave you to handle the pharmacy. Traveler, Paimon, why don't you come with me and Ayu? Let's start by talking to the Millilith guards at the city gates, see if they have an update.
Dito, parece que el papá tiene Alzheimer o algo. No sé. ¿Estos dirán algo?
Can you believe that little boy brought his father all this way to see the doctor? Oh, what a remarkable child. I didn't even know how to buy medicine by myself when I was his age.
Lo entiendo.
His family. We have to find them.
La voz de Shishi es bien parecida a la de Layla. Sabemos si es el mismo VA, el mismo voice actor para los dos. Nos tiramos al garete, viene. Front gate, let's go to the front gate. Que loco, ¿verdad? La farmacia está en ese peñón de roca con un puentecito. Vamos para allá, viene. Este muchacho no avanza.
They searched to the north, but couldn't find anyone who matched the description.
Well, that complicates things. The city folks say there's no sign of him either. We need to start looking further afield. But where are we gonna get the people?
Excuse me, sirs. Have you found out anything about my dad yet?
Ah, hey there, buddy. Dr. Baishu. What brings you out this way?
The boy asked for our help, so we're here to join the search. Any new developments to update us on?
Oh, thank goodness. We were just discussing how we're running out of manpower. As for updates, I'm sorry to say that we've searched the surrounding area thoroughly, but didn't find anything.
The guards at the crossing up ahead said they hadn't seen anyone either, so we don't believe he was heading towards the Guili Plains. But it is possible that he was bound for Luhua Pool.
Luhua Pool? The terrain there can be tricky to navigate. Let's hope he hasn't run into any trouble.
You will? Oh, great. We can't thank you enough.
Sorry we weren't able to find your dad, buddy.
That's okay. Thank you for trying.
Ni yo me acuerdo cuál es ese pool. Ah, diantre, sí. Que aquí hay un dominio bien difícil y todo. Pero eso es una montaña, se fue de risco abajo. Ahí hay un negocio y todo, pero aquí, para pelear, vamos a pelear. No, nada que ver. Pero si no me equivoco, para ir a donde está esa área ahora marcada, hay un sitio que es un hotel, y me acuerdo que una vez hubo un evento donde era básicamente, sí, ese mismo lugar. En ese hotel hubo un evento hace tiempo, 1 o 2 años atrás, que era de ese hotel que estaba vacío, que no tenía mucha gente. Para que esto es un risco, mira, hay escaleras, pero...
Dad! Dad, can you hear me?
Look, there's somebody over there! Oh no, it's... Hey, you! Stop! Don't go any further!
Watch where you're going! Oh, dear customer, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor does appreciate your patronage, but you needn't hasten the inevitable. Are you all right? Huh?
Dad!
Hey, Hu-Tao!
My, who do we have here? It's the Traveler in Paimon, and... my worst nightmare.
I see she still hasn't warmed to you.
Thank you, Director Hu, for saving this man.
Dad, are you okay? Do you recognize me? It's me, Ayu.
You're... Ayu? Who am I?
Your name is Jiao Liang, and you live just west of Qingse Village. You were supposed to come to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor, remember? Does that jog your memory?
Oh, my name is Jia Liang. Liyue Harbor. See the doctor? Yes, I'm Jia Liang, and I need to see the doctor. Wait, why do I need to see the doctor?
Uh-oh. He seems in really bad shape. We need to get him back to Boo Boo Pharmacy right away. Sorry, Hutao. Gotta dash. Dinner's on us next time.
Hold on a second. You're not seriously thinking of taking him to Boo Boo Pharmacy in this state, are you?
Huh? Why not? What's the problem?
Come on, Baishu. Don't tell me you haven't noticed it. Didn't your master teach you how to spot the signs? Why do I get the sense that you spotted them right away, but you're planning to use it for your own ends?
Use what? What are you talking about? Paimon's lost.
There are traces of god remains in Jia Liang's system.
What?
Yes, but more importantly, they're on the verge of an outburst. If that happens, the consequences will be unthinkable.
God remains. ¿Qué caramba se refiere?
Paimon, sorry. What?
God remains?
There's no need to worry, Director Hu. I have methods of keeping them at bay. It is the sworn duty of all who practice medicine to cure illnesses and save lives. What reason would I have to neglect a patient in need who is right there in front of me? Besides, it was my late master's dying wish to be able to save this patient in particular. Perhaps out of respect for him, you could give me a day's grace so that I have time to treat him?
Now you're bringing my great-uncle into this? Baishu, just what are you planning this time?
Merely to cure this man, nothing more. But of course, if you have any doubt as to my intentions, you are more than welcome to accompany me to Boo Boo Pharmacy and monitor my activities.
Oh, really? I thought I was persona non grata at Boo Boo Pharmacy. You're being unusually generous today. Okay, deal. We're not gonna solve anything by keeping Jia Liang here. I'm happy to do it your way, but only for my great-uncle's sake, and the travelers, of course.
You must be pleased you brought the traveler along. Otherwise, this would have been a much more vexing ordeal.
Well, time is of the essence. Let's get ourselves back to Boo Boo Pharmacy at once. Blockages within the cardiovascular system, reduced blood flow and energy circulation? I see. I suppose this must have caused the cognitive abnormalities.
Dr. Baishu, how bad is it? Can you cure him?
Don't you worry. Baishu's a really great doctor. He's sure to find a way. Isn't that right, Baishu?
Ayu, do you know when your father first started displaying these symptoms?
I'm not sure. He's been like this for as long as I can remember. But it wasn't as bad as this when I was still little.
So it's been a long time indeed.
Is it a grim prognosis? Pues bien.
No. I have a treatment plan in mind. We can start tonight. Come and see me again tomorrow morning. I promise that by then, Ayu will find his father healthy and lucid again.
Thank you, Dr. Baishu. Thank you so much.
If you still have any misgivings, Director Hu, please feel free to hang around for as long as you wish.
However, it would be best if you step outside this room. A doctor must be able to focus when treating a patient. Any distractions heighten the risk of complications.
Yes, of course, absolutely. I'll just go and look at the flowers or something. But I will be back in an instant at the first sign that something's amiss.
See you tomorrow, Baishu and Changcheng.
Bye for now, everyone.
Are you ready, Baishu?
Ready as I'll ever be. I'm used to it by now. Come on, let's get started.
All's well that ends well, huh? You know, Paimon's kind of curious after hearing Baishu mention those people from his past. What do you think they were like? Yeah, you must be curious too, right? Let's go see what we can find out while Baishu's busy treating Ayu's dad.
Paimon, como siempre, un poquito entrometida, pero la entiendo porque no sé. Quiero saber qué más dicen.
Mr. Quay, I want to go to the Adventurers Guild and get them to help look for my mom. Should I take anything with me?
Well, you need enough cash to pay their fees, and there'll be some paperwork to fill out. I can come with you if you like.
Wow, these two are hard at work. We probably shouldn't disturb them.
Bueno, ya encontramos al papá, pero nos falta la Mai. Eso es verdad. ¿Y esto? La mamá tratando de darle... La mamá tratando de darle medicina a la hija. Ay. Ok, ven, está ahí todavía, Jutau. Cuéntanos.
While I'm idling time on admiring the scenery, the spectacled, snake-bedecked docs doing surgery. Hello, you busy bees, and what do you have to discuss with the funeral director today? Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
Guilty as charged. So, we were just a little curious about Baishu's master. What was he like? Oh, and also, how come you and Baishu could tell so quickly that Jia Liang had god remains in his system?
Huh? I thought I told you once before. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war. Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story short, in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up, so our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death. These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but all the relevant know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify gods' remains when we see them.
Okay, Paimon gets it now. Wait, so how did Baishu learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baishu's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Wow, fancy that! Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baishu's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead. My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay. So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
Funeral director to doctor is a pretty big career change. Kinda hard to imagine. But why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days. But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him. And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics. And you've seen how wary Baishu is around me. He'd never tell me anything. But even that says to me that he definitely has something to hide. One thing I do know about Baishu is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality. But whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say. Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
A lo mejor la pegué a la...
That, it seems like we have more questions than answers. Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baishu himself about all of this tomorrow.
Creo que la estoy pegando. Probablemente Baishu es un canriano que es inmortal porque no está afectado por culpa de la maldición que tienen. Y a lo mejor cogió la serpiente y tiene algo que ver. I don't know. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué más tienes, Gustavo? Cuéntanos más.
Oh, while you're here, have either of you seen Chi-Chi around? It's not every day I get to infiltrate Baishu's lair, but alas, I didn't catch a single glimpse of her anywhere. Aha! What if
El informante de
Baishu knew I'd be
Gustavo
on
es
the lookout
Chichi.
for her and hid her away in advance?
Parece que la informante de Gustavo es Chichi. Ay. Bueno, voy a dar un minutito de break. Vengo ahora.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
It won't get better if you don't take your medicine.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
If you don't take your medicine.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
It won't get better if you don't take your medicine.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
Honey, it won't get better if you don't take your medicine.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
Honey, it won't get better if you don't take your medicine.
But I don't want to. It tastes gross.
Bueno, ya regresé del breakecito, es de 8 a 10, así que ahí está, mira, es 8 exacto. De las pocas veces que pongo la hora exacta. Vamos para allá, seguimos con la historia de Baishu, vamos a ver para dónde nos lleva esto.
It's a new day! Let's go back to Boo Boo Pharmacy and check out how Jia Liang is doing.
Dad!
Oh, are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, Ayu, I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her. And Dr. Baishu's gonna help too. Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baishu.
My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years.
Not at all, Dr. Baishu. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again?
You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh? But How did you accomplish this in a single night?
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jialiang for as long as you wish. Though I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wangsheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
Oh, come on, Baishu. I'm not that unreasonable.
I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baishu, take me outside for some air, or I'm going to suffocate.
Yes, of course. Everyone, please excuse Changsheng and myself for a moment.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now. But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
Who's there? Why did you follow us here? Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baishu did not cure Jialiang's illness. Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system. Baishu, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Changsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Changsheng's secret art to treat patients. I believe the irregularities with Jialiang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient. The poison has not been purged from Jialiang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Changsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Changsheng? You can do that? Huh. Paimon always thought you were just Baishu's strange choice of a necklace. Hey, I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baishu's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text. Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Please, that's enough.
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
Hardly. Changsheng helps to keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Still, Baishu's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body, and soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own. Baishu, don't you think you should seize this opportunity? You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that all secrets surface eventually.
Entire life. Thank you, Traveler and Paimon.
Huh. Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you. But there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it. Yes, I asked Ayu this morning before you arrived. He told me that his family lives in a secluded spot to the west of Qingsa village. Let's head there together once I've asked Gui and Qiqi to look after the pharmacy. As well as investigating Jialiang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple, Jiangli.
Dijo my fellow disciple, o sea, infiriendo que la mamá del nene es una discípula como él. Strange stuff. ¿Dónde? Ok, para allá. Little Lou, cuéntanos, Little Lou. I would like to see the Adeptus again today, but he doesn't seem to like me. An Adeptus? I met a handsome, dashing Adeptus. Ciao. Really? No sonreirá, pero es llevadera, tranquila. Ok, por aquí no es. Pero por aquí nos vamos. Yo creo que esta es la primera vez que yo vengo a esta casa. Yo creo que yo nunca he venido para esta casita. Ni una vez. Al menos que haya sido puesta aquí después de la actualización, porque no hay manera fácil de llegar a esta casa.
Whoa! There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiangli was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush to get here. Could you tell us more about Jiangli? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang. Wait, Changxiang, are you saying neither of you had actually met Jialiang or Ayu before all of this?
Jiangli did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
Quarrel? What happened? I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiangli or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baishu. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type. Sorry.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions, You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the... Okay, that was the most suspicious-sounding thing you've ever said.
Let's leave the idle chatter there for now, Jiangli has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up. But if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick! What is this?
Changsheng and I found a hidden compartment. This is what was hidden inside.
You sense it too? You're right. This is a poison concocted using god remains. Is it breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
No, your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe the poison in this bottle is alive. Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor loads, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances. If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor loads. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
The call of the... Wait. So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading!
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the god remains used as the poison's key ingredient. The mother lode.
This is getting crazier and crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang? Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden? Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house. You mean Jialiang? Why would he poison himself? Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives here, and who might have expertise in crafting drugs.
La cara del Traveler es perfecta, como que seria, seriamente, en serio, Paimon, como que, por favor, es bastante fácil de adivinar, pero la cara de Baishu es de decepción, como que no puedo creerlo.
Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li? Wait, but that doesn't make any sense either! Why would she poison her own husband?
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jia Liang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery. Yes. According to the origins and symptoms of diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother load is purged. So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will leave Jia Liang's system without the need for any further treatment. Do you know anything about god remains in Qingsa village?
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time. Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though? You sure they didn't tell you anything about this? Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? After a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon. Hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me. With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach. Stronger and healthier? Wow, that's amazing! Baishu, maybe when you retire, you can let Paimon sign a contract with Changsheng for a few days.
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face? Ugh! Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baishu, you're Mannequin Man! Changsheng, you're just a pain in the neck! This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
With how antisocial they are, if it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk. What?
Seems you're as well connected as they say, Traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Oh, if you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
You called?
Gets Paimon every time. Aren't all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
Baishu of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before. The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Huh? You two already know each other?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me? So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable. I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Qingsa village. A vile monster known as the Che once wrought havoc over this land, before it was subdued by Rex Lapis. The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used statues in his likeness to seal the serpent's remains.
Jinxa village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact. If the Cha is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak. I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again. Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them. That's Shell for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
Master, there's a problem.
Gwei? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
What happened? Don't panic. Just catch your breath and tell me everything.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Already? How? Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
It seems that my worst fears have been confirmed. Everyone, back to Boo Boo Pharmacy now!
Chacho, corrió 2200 metros, mírate eso. Mírate eso, mira. Papá, venías a 200.000 millas por ahí. Vamos a sacar aquí. Ay, 2000 y pico de metros y pudo hablar de lo más bien. Yo entiendo que en estos tiempos que no hay carros voy a correr bastante, pero cogerlo con calma, no se los exageren. Es la estamina del trable y no da para nada. Llegamos.
Dad, what's wrong? Dad?
Don't be scared. Dr. Baishu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Dr. Baishu, you're back! My dad was doing fine earlier, but then he suddenly started coughing up blood. Now he can't even get a full word out anymore.
When Gwei left, he was still conscious. But now...
Gwei, please take Jiaoliang to the back room and prepare for treatment.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Baishu's not gonna use Changsheng's secret art again, is he? Is there really no other way to save Jiaoliang?
Oh, please don't worry. Dr. Baishu will find a way.
But...
Pues bien, hay que esperar de nuevo al próximo día. Puta, no está por ahí esta vez. Aquí está el
Dr.
muchacho.
Baishu is still treating the patient. Please do not disturb him for now.
Ok, perfecto. Esa es la puerta del cuarto. Ah, mira, justo estaba aquí.
Fancy running into you guys at a place like this. What are the chances?
What are you doing here?
Nothing. I was just battling against some writer's block, so I took a stroll to see if I could get my niece back. Yep, it's working. Stealthy as a snake. She can hear them coming, plants a little bait, and they all come running. You'd better not snitch on me, okay?
Todavía está chequeando lo que sé que Baishu está haciendo. Vi ahora ese soldado ahí arriba. Yo creo que yo nunca he hablado con este soldado que está aquí arriba. First time que lo veo ahí sentado. Hello, can I help? Shouldn't you be at work right now? How dare you? Abismo been much needed. Ah, pues bien. Well, you do have a point. Claro, tienen que descansar, pero first time que lo veo por ahí descansando. Que me dio fried radish balls. Yo no sabía que aquí había uno de estos. Lotus head. Pescado. ¿Es agua o qué? Esta cascadita que está aquí. Mira para allá lo que está ahí. Yo ni me había dado cuenta.
I'll keep this close.
Ah, pues bien. Primera vez que veo ese tesoro. Mira, estos Primogenesis tienen que ser más viejos. Qué loco. No hay más nada por ahí, no hay más nada. Pero ya aquello es muy abajo. Bueno, hay que moverla ahora de nuevo. Encontramos a Jutao ahí espiando. Y Baishu se llevó nuevamente al paciente para darle Life Force. Me pregunto si él se va muriendo a medida que va usando el poder. O nada que ver. Y la serpiente lo mantiene vivo y ya. ¿Qué será? The quest for a cure. Talk to Ayu. Vamos para allá.
How are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting anywhere? You're not gonna suddenly collapse again, are you?
Much better, Ayu. I'm feeling much better. In fact, I can't explain it, but somehow I feel even better than usual. Wait, where's Dr. Baishu? I still haven't had a chance to thank him. Seems he moved me here before I came to.
Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Oh, really? Well, he must be tired from treating me for 2 nights in a row. I don't know how I can begin to repay him for saving my life. I'll have to discuss it properly with Jiangli once we find her. Speaking of which, has there been any word of her whereabouts yet?
No, the Adventurers Guild hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'll go check with them again in a bit.
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the woods yet, Jialiang. I strongly suggest that you stay and rest at Boo Boo Pharmacy for now. I can accompany Ayu to the Adventurers Guild.
I suppose you're right. I'll have to rely on you this time. Though, on the bright side, this means I can thank Dr. Baishu in person once he's finished resting.
Traveler, Baishu hasn't shown his face ever since he went in to treat Jialiang again. Do you think he... Huh? Hey, wait up!
Huh?
You're finally awake? That was far too risky. Even with me here to help you balance your chi.
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, it was not completely without benefit to myself. I managed to learn something. Jiangli's design is quite brilliant. She makes numerous innovations that I can learn from. Alas, if only there wasn't a catch.
So, how much longer do you think Baishu's gonna nap for? They've been outside waiting for you the whole time while you were asleep. Shall we at least go and show our faces?
All right.
Surely he hasn't. There's no way he could have just...
Who's talking behind our backs again?
Ah! Baishu! Changsheng!
Of course. There's no need to be concerned. I merely had to transfer a rather large amount of life force on this occasion. But, with Changsheng's help, I will recover in time.
Jialiang seemed fine yesterday. Why did he need more life-saving treatment again so soon?
I made an error in my initial diagnosis. Jialiang is in fact suffering from more than one ailment, and as a result, his life force depleted at a greater rate than I had anticipated.
What? You mean, even if you got all the poison out of him, he'd still be sick?
Yes. But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's system is there precisely because it is being used to manage his underlying medical condition. Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition, and ongoing treatment is essential to maintaining healthy functioning of his heart meridian. Left untreated, it puts the patient at risk of coughing up blood and fainting, and in the longer term, causes irreversible damage to the internal organs. Though it was created from God remains, this formula is not a poison in Jialiang's case. Rather, it's his medication.
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely would have died a long time ago.
Still, using poison to treat a disease is hardly a viable long-term solution. As time passed, and the poison accumulated in his system, it began to impact his cognition. Moreover, the longer he relied upon this medicine, the more resistant his body became to it. Jiang Li had to concoct ever greater quantities to ensure its continued efficacy, or he could have still perished at any moment.
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been getting worse, and why his mom went off to gather herbs.
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around, because humans have no natural defense against them. I shudder to think how many times Jiang Li has exposed herself to them. I fear that the situation is just as that Adeptus described. In an effort to save Jialiang's life, Jiang Li has abandoned all regard for her own safety.
I never suspected that even Jiang Li would turn to the same path as so many others over the years. Perhaps this is the inevitable course of fate. To sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond human means in order to do the impossible. Whatever the cost may be.
El destino, fate. ¿Ah? Estás pensando en lo que Nahira... Qué cool, ¿ves? Primera vez que creo que hacen este crossover de pensamiento. El Traveler pensando en el destino, que es algo que había hablado con Nahira. Nice, nice.
Well, I think that it's too early to say with any certainty what fate has in mind. In any case, I have stabilized Jialiang's condition for now, so our immediate priority should be to get ourselves back to Qingsa village and find out where Jiang Li is. Her regular exposure to God remains over such a long period will have been catastrophic for her health, and given that she's already been missing for several days, I am fearing the worst.
It's me, Traveler, Dr. Baishu.
It's Jialiang! Don't tell Paimon you overheard everything already.
Dr. Baishu, please let me come with you. You've already done so much for my family. I can no longer just sit here and watch while you put yourself at risk for Jiang Li's sake. After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first place. I know I won't be of much help in battle, but at the very least, I can show you the way. I'm sure I'll be able to remember. I know there's a spot where she says goodbye to me every time she goes to gather her herbs. I'm sure I'll remember. I have to remember.
Be careful. If you get too agitated, your blood pressure and stress levels will rise, putting further pressure on your heart.
For your own safety, you should stay here and rest.
No! We're out of time! We have to go now. Right now. Before I forget everything again.
This trip will be extremely dangerous, and there is a very real possibility that you will not return from it. Are you sure you're prepared for that?
I never expected to live this long in the first place. My death is already long overdue. So why should I fear it? There's only one thing I fear now, and that's that I'll forget her again before we manage to find her.
Very well. Then follow me.
Dr. Baishu, are you heading out again?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen, and 1 dose each of the ingredients from the 3rd and 5th compartments of my medicine cabinet. I hope it works.
Dr. Baishu, do you mean...
Hop to it now, and remember to be careful with the cauldron this time. You don't want to burn yourself again.
Okay.
¿Para dónde es que vamos? ¿Para dónde es que iremos?
Everyone, please be careful.
Estaré formulando una bomba, tengan cuidado, sálganse del medio. Justo lo enseñaron por aquí, pero ya sacaron el character, so no la veo allí, so debe estar para donde vamos. Shinsa Village de nuevo. Shinsa. ¿A la casa de nuevo? Los parques más rápido. Cógelo. Había un board por ahí. De cantazo. Vamos a coger eso, pero para esto necesito the big guns. Cambiar a Tainari. Ponemos a
Oh, how exciting!
Noel. 3 cantacitos. Este es el camino regular. Y la casa de esta persona está hacia acá. Hay una escalera ahí que no hace ni sentido. Nunca había cogido yo por este lado. Ups. Y acá está la casa. Yo creo que ni siquiera me había fijado en el mapa. Aunque puede ser como digamos fue la actualización para este quest. Y no estaba antes, también puede ser. Regresamos. Vamos a ver qué pasa ahora.
That strange feeling is back. It's just like the day I went missing. It's as if something inside me is trying to guide me somewhere.
The Motherlode's influence is growing stronger. But is it because we're getting closer to the source? Or because the leakage of Che blood is growing more severe? Jialiang, can you sense which direction the source is in?
I think it's this way. Yes, I'm sure of it. I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way. This place feels familiar. I think I've been here before.
There is an inauspicious presence here. Even I can sense it.
I think I remember this place.
Jialiang, are you okay? Maybe you should rest here while we continue the search.
No, I have to keep going. Jiangli is still waiting for me. Then let's hurry.
Se nota que con eso del humito es como si hubiese aquí un dominio. Raro que no... Ve, esto sí lo pueden actualizar, hacer puertas para que uno pueda entrar a los dominios. Entanglement of past dreams. Enredo de sueños pasados. Vamos a ver.
Sure.
This place gives Paimon the creeps. Who knows what we're gonna find up ahead? The digging marks here appear amateur and rather old. I suspect it is a thieves' tunnel. A thieves' tunnel? Paimon has heard rumors about treasure around these parts before. Maybe it was the treasure hoarders that dug this tunnel.
Judging by the tools they left behind, it's certainly a possibility. But why did they abandon this place without even stopping to pack up their tools?
I remember now. She took me here once and told me that she'd found a way to save me in this cave. But she said that the method would cause me to... curses. Why can't I remember what she said?
Easy, Jialiang. Come on, let's keep going.
Viene. So, por ahí es que bajamos, ¿ves? Entramos por la cueva según el juego y bajamos aquí. Estamos en este área, vamos para allá. Con Baishu.
Rain outlines your fit. Steady as stone.
Echen para acá. Boom. Si no va a hacer trabajo. Es facilito. No tiene el mejor damage, pero es un buen damage. Tiene un buen damage. Eso fue un buen damage ahí. Ahí está el campamento.
There's a sensor here. Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster-repelling incense.
A monster-repelling incense? You sure? 'Cause we did run into that group of monsters just now.
The incense was burned several days ago. If I had to guess, the monsters we fought just now were enticed here by some entity deeper inside the cave. No doubt an encounter with the very same entity was what prompted the treasure hoarders to flee and abandon their designs on this cave. After them, Jiangli was the next person to discover this place and what lies inside. But to her, it presented an opportunity to save Jia Liang's life, albeit as a last resort.
That's right. This sensor, it belongs to Jiangli. Yes, this was the place. This is where I told Jiangli to give me the poison.
Jialiang!
I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it. She is right below us, waiting for me.
Para mí que vamos a encontrar la mala noticia de que ella se murió. Y él está usando ya lo último que ella le dejó para beberse. No veo cómo abrir el portón, pero vamos para allá. Pues bien, first time. Just like that. Boom. Eso es un verdadera entrada. No hay nada por ahí. Seguimos.
I can feel it. We're getting close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
A pact. Un pacto. Ok. Okay. Okay.
We can keep going now.
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
Definitivamente. Pues bien. Y aquí tenemos uno de los primeros acertijos del dominio. Vamos a ver. Dungeon Time. Push. ¿Para dónde? Push para dónde. Vamos a activarlo. ¿Qué pasa? Primero hay que darle push. Y después entonces se activa. Ahora lo puedo activar. Vamos a ver qué hace. ¿Se va a activar aquí? ¿Le hace algo a eso? No le hizo absolutamente nada. No le hizo absolutamente nada. Pero le vamos a dar un push. Pues entonces tiene que abrir eso full sí o sí. Aquí hay otra barrera. Vamos a ir para esta primero, anyways. Ábrete, Sésamo, viene. Ahí es. Ay, mire, hizo el pisito. No vacile. Vamos a pelear. Vamos a mambo.
No, my sword!
Mind the side effects.
Wop, 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 wop. Ahí sí. ¿No te crees que vinimos preparados? Vinimos para el pela, vinimos. Subiti.
Let me read you a verse.
This is nothing.
Ey, ey, ey. Echa para atrás. Vamos a coger aquí esto.
The doctor was sooner.
Ustedes se creen. Vinimos mezclados, vinimos ready. Ahora no sé, esas cosas violetas tendrán que ver con el Dead God, el supuesto Dios muerto. Vamos a ver, tiene que ver con eso obligado. Y ahora le damos un push a esta aquí, shups, como si fuese un chuchu tren. Esto es para desbloquear algún otro barrier como esa, alguna otra barrera como esa. Pero que no la puedo activar. Estoy aquí ready para activarla. ¿Para dónde tú quieres que yo te zumbe? Si estás aquí. Acá no había por qué activarla. ¿Verdad que no? No. Nada que ver. Bueno, supongo entonces que tiene que ver con el que puse acá. Vamos a empujar este hacia allá. A ver si esto desbloquea esa barrera. ¿Me desbloquea esa barrera o tengo que pasar más trabajo? La desbloqueo, perfecto. Tiene que haber algún otro dispositivo por acá, vamos a ver. Nada que ver. Simplemente un buen tesoro. Lo aceptamos, tesoro bienvenido, sí o sí. Ah, porque entonces esta activa aquella y aquella desbloquea. Vamos a ver. Tú Tú activas esta y esta desbloquea aquí, chacho. Estamos aprendiendo, estamos ready. Yo lo que asumo que entonces este templo le pertenece al supuesto dios muerto que hay aquí. Eso es lo único que hace sentido. Vean a todas las rocas que hay aquí. Echa, ni brincó bien. Puja, puja, mijo, puja. ¡A rayo! Eso es un monstruo grande. Aquí voy a tener que usar. ¿Dónde está? Ah, mira allí tirado. ¿Qué te creía, papá? ¿Qué te creía? Tú, Kitty. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Triángulo. No veo el triángulo aumentando más el damage.
Order guide you.
Boom.
Quake. And propagate.
A bitter pill to swallow.
The doctor will see you.
Rain outlines your
What?
fate. Witness the power of Gugwa.
Scatter.
A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency.
Acabo con esta, mira. Ahora es que acabó. Eso es todo.
Dr. Baishu, how serious is it? Is she...
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you.
A rayo, mira el mega hueso ahí. Eso mismo es lo que ella estaba utilizando para hacer la supuesta medicina para el esposo. Ya.
If we don't eliminate it soon, then even if we save her life, I fear that she may never wake up again.
Then, what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the remains right away! It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baiju said? The poison within Jialiang's body is inextricably linked to the god remains here. If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect. And the poison within Jialiang's body is keeping his heart condition under control. So, if it stops working... Oh no. Are you saying...
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged, then your life will come to an end.
I wondered when this day might come.
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off to save Jialiang's life! After all that, we can't just give up on him! Baiju, you're a great doctor! Surely you gotta know of some other way we can save him, right?
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiang Li, maybe if we put our heads together, we can think of something?
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right up until the moment when she lost consciousness. Maybe it's her greatest wish that you will continue to take it and live.
Dr. Baishu, give it to me straight. How long does Jiang Li have?
The god remains have reached her internal organs. Under ordinary circumstances, I would give her less than 3 days. But if I were to treat her using a secret art...
But what would be the point of that? Dr. Baishu, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You are not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, not only would Jiang Li have to keep risking her life to make my medicine for me, but I would have to live with the looming threat of these remains breaking out and wreaking havoc not just upon me, but my entire family. I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. The fact that I've been around to see how you grow up is already a great blessing from Rex Lapis. If my choice can bring Jiang Li back, then even if Even if I die.
Jialiang.
After cheating death for so long, it seems I've grown somewhat addicted to life. Traveler, Dr. Baishu, could I have another minute with my wife? I just want to have one final moment together. Just a moment, that's all.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
Jialiang. Baishu, Changsheng. Is there really nothing else you can do?
I am sure that over the years, Jiangli will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less conventional methods, I have little expertise besides Changsheng's secret art.
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death, Jiangli would not have had to resort to unnatural methods. What a crazy situation! Jiangli risked it all to save Jialiang's life, and now Jialiang has to sacrifice himself to save Jiangli! What's the point of it all?
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to die for a worthy cause? At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time has come. Do what you must.
As you wish.
It will eat away at both your cognition and your memories. In the end, you'll become little more than a shadow of your true self.
I'll take it. At the very least, it will allow me to stay with you and watch Ayu grow up.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad. Don't fret, Ayu. I will gather some medicinal herbs right away. I promise you, nothing will happen to our family.
Why would these memories come to mind now? The longer we live, the tighter we cling to what we have. Oh, how I would love to hear your voice one last time.
Jialiang! 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 Jialiang!
Dad, are you awake?
Jiangli, are you? Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baishu, I thought that I was going to...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death. Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I'm as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace. I hope that Director Hu finds this arrangement to be a satisfactory one.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jia Liang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Hu's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jia Liang to show us the way before we set off for Qingsa village?
Oops. And I'm busted.
Without Director Hu nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiangli in time.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Hu told me to keep her suggestion a secret, but it seems nothing escapes Dr. Baishu's attention.
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jia Liang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baishu, and cure Dad for good!
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng funeral parlor out of business. If you're serious about it, you'll have your work cut out for you. Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another time.
Is she finally gone?
All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something to celebrate this hard-earned family reunion. At times like this, a grand celebratory feast is in order.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
Yay! Paimon can't wait! Alright, first things first, off to the market for some fresh ingredients. Let's go!
Wait up! I'll come too!
Baishu, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Don't mention it, Jiangli. I was just doing my duty.
Just your duty, huh? Baishu, Changshang, would you mind if we took this conversation outside?
Now that you are part zombie, there are some rules that you need to know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
First, don't forget to stretch your body regularly. Second, don't forget...
Yes? Go on. Don't forget to...
I forgot.
No, buena, esa fue buena. Dame a buscar un poquito de agua antes de escuchar lo que falta de la historia. Dame un segundito.
Life, death, and the world around us all follow a set of laws. But if you never test the limits, how can anyone know where the boundaries of these laws are?
Time flies. It's been so long since we bade each other farewell in Shenyu Vale. Changshang, you're the same as ever. You haven't changed one bit.
You, on the other hand, have changed a lot.
You're right. My younger self would have never imagined that things would one day turn out this way. Or that you'd turn out this way, Baishu. I've taken a look at your elixir of immortality. It's not altogether dissimilar from the poison I concocted in terms of the way it functions.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius to use poison to maintain life. I hope you're not too upset at me for copying your methods.
No, not at all. With your intellect, even if you'd never seen my poison, I believe you would have eventually arrived at the same approach. But I'm still impressed by how quickly you managed to gain such a thorough understanding of it. Jialiang's still only been in your care for a few days. Not just that, you even managed to improve upon the original formula. That cannot be explained by intellect alone. Baishu, be honest with me. Did you try out some of the poison on yourself?
Huh. Told you the truth would surface sooner or later.
Life force isn't the only thing that Changshang's contract lets you transfer between bodies, is it?
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and diseases. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, I transferred some of the poison from his body into my own. Not only did this allow me to alleviate the burden on him, but it also gave me an opportunity to study its properties. There is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my health, however. Now that the source has been destroyed, any remaining poison in me will have already dissipated.
But you took such a huge risk. If we hadn't destroyed the god's remains back there, then even you might have... What am I saying? I'm in no position to criticize you for this. The reason I left our master and went into hiding all those years ago was that he was getting old. And I didn't want him using up any more of his own life force to treat my husband. But in the end, how were my methods any different? I risked one life to save another. And then you tried the poison on yourself, too. It looks like both of us have ended up going the same way as our master before us. Are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way? To live a short life, haven't given away our own for the sake of others? To fight relentlessly against the natural course of life and death, whatever the cost? Maybe our fate is sealed the moment we decide to study medicine.
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say that anyone's fate is sealed.
Baishu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changshang to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that, some of them, I don't even recognize. Can you still stop before it's too late?
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey! Food's ready! Mom, come and join us! The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes, and said even Dad will be able to taste them. Come and try them out!
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Hey, slow down. Baishu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but please don't forget that if one day you're not around anymore, Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you, they will all miss you dearly.
There's no need to worry, Jiangli. I know what I'm doing.
I can only hope so.
Baishu, what did Jiangli mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay? Every single mortal I've ever contracted with, including Baishu and Jiangli's master, has passed away at a young age. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
It is a very long story.
Long ago, when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Chenyu Vale who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. Then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is, until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force, She said that this art is a poison chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patients? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojun. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract has strict requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
But when one with an altruistic nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits them, when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing their nearest and dearest, they cannot help but reach beyond human means. They are like moths that throw themselves into the flame, seeking a glimmer of hope in a dark world filled with pain and suffering.
So, Baishu, does that mean...
I suppose that would make me a moth that yearns for the light, but doesn't want to be burned to a crisp. Changsheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world. It's just like we witnessed. Either Jia Liang feared for Jiang Li's life, or Jiang Li grieved over Jia Liang's sacrifice. I have nothing but the utmost respect for my predecessors, who sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to join their ranks, nor do I wish to pass on this contract to anyone else in the future.
Huh? But didn't you already transfer a ton of diseases onto yourself?
What makes a poison poison? And what makes a disease a disease? When it comes down to it, are not both mechanisms that affect the operations of the human body? If disease is defined as deviation from normal functioning, then who knows? Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind of poison. Many may view the notion of searching for immortality in poisons and illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me, it is no different from the way our ancestors tested the medicinal qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract. Nor do I wish for Changsheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it? Precisely. I will be Changsheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggle to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baiju.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
Huh. For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Dr. Baishu, Traveler, what are you still chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
We also have coconut milk for Changsheng and Paimon.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but they can wait till after we've eaten.
I do envy Paimon sometimes. Eating her fill is enough to satisfy her body and mind.
True. And yet, although we call them simple pleasures, are such things as these not precisely why we mortals cling desperately to the life we have?
Y esa fue la pregunta del día. La última pregunta de la conversación de Baishu es la pregunta del día. ¡Wow! So, Baishu está tratando de perfeccionar la medicina que le dio, en este caso, al papá del nene. Mientras la intenta perfeccionar, intenta de ser inmortal él mismo para que entonces no tengan que pasar el contrato y no tengan que seguir muriendo otros doctores. Interesante. Pero lo logrará. Porque si no me equivoco, en la historia de Shishi dice que eso no se podía. Creo que decía algo que es en contra de los principios. Vamos a ver. Yo tengo acá abajo, ¿verdad? Aquí del 20. No he hecho nada. Eso es un zombie, confirmado, ya lo dijeron. Zombie. Ahí mismo, espera. Due to being a zombie, Shishi lacks facial expression. She hopes that's okay. Nah, aquí no, pero si no me equivoco, había algún sitio en algún momento dado decía que eso no era una práctica correcta. Ayudar a que la gente no muriera. En este caso, como Shishi, que se quedó hecha un zombie. So, no me acuerdo si había un lugar donde decía que eso era una práctica en contra de los Heavenly Principles. So, eso es something to ponder, algo que pensar. Obligado, alguien eventualmente hará una teoría en YouTube sobre eso. O al menos eso espero. Bueno, ya vimos la historia de Baishu. Ya terminamos la historia en Sumeru. Así que continuamos otro día y aquí lo dejo. Recuerda darle like, subscribe y compártelo. Tengan unas muy buenas tardes.